Day. Market's absolutely on fire with this possible peace deal brewing. I'm going to jump on, make sure everyone can hear me on X here. That's where most people are listening, as well as from yeah, it looks like they can hear us there. Put a little, I like to start out with a little GM in the chat. So that for good morning. But anyway, yeah, absolutely crazy with this Trump. Interesting. Yesterday, we talked about they were starting to let some ships through, and then abruptly, after a couple of military ships going through, a couple of civilian ships coming through, all of a sudden we put on a pause, like there was a peace deal. Seemed a little funny, to be honest with you, but that's what the market's taken in. And we got Bitcoin all the way up to 82,749, currently sitting just under 82 at 81,936. Market's opening here right now, so that could change. Let's take a look over at the futures. So yeah, the futures, NASDAQ was looking to open up 1.13%, 0.84% for the Dow, and 0.69 for the S&P. I'm not liking, my lighting seems worse than usual here. I'm going to lose my little picture down there with the cheesy green screen. Anyway, I've got to get better lighting here or start going to my office. But yeah, I've just got horrible lighting. I got to remedy that or fix my background. Anyway, yeah, let's see where we actually are. Let's see where we actually are today as far as where we actually opened. I mean, it's only been open in a minute here, but so futures looking great. Crypto cranking, a little bit of a pullback just in the last half an hour. Okay, so the NASDAQ looks like it opened up 0.92. Dow Jones, it looks like it's dropped even a little more, 0.76 right now. Dow at 0.97, S&P at 0.66. His website's a little slow, so we'll see. Man, I don't know what's going on over on X. I noticed none of the spaces this morning had almost anybody in them. And my live, it doesn't look like too many people have joined yet either. Something's really wrong with X today as far as their algorithm. Definitely problematic. But nonetheless, we're here anyway. Hopefully people can catch it on recording if we don't see it live. I see a few people joining now. But so anyway, yeah, futures looking huge, up big time. And now they're opened up, down a little, but they're starting to go back up. NASDAQ sitting now positive 0.84, Dow 0.97, S&P 0.66. So almost up 1%, 1%, and about 0.75%. Taking a look over at crypto. They've changed my crypto bubbles here. I mean, you can see just the regular bubbles massively in green. But let's pull up Bitcoin. They did change the charts here a little bit, but yeah, pulling up the one-day chart, we're 81,958. If you look at the hourly chart, you can see we topped out at 82,749, and we're down. But I think we might if the TradFi market works, I think we could bring it back. But either way, huge day, especially if we get a confirmation. We'll look at some of the news around it. A lot of big news, too, with some of the big brokerage accounts today, all coming out with some news. But Bitcoin, looking on the daily chart, that's the 4-hour chart. The 1-hour chart, you can see it's kind of down. That just started happening in the last hour. We started seeing this drop. I think we might regain it, but it was up pretty significantly. Beyond the daily chart, you can see we topped out at 82,749, currently back over 82. We'll see if we can grind back down. Man, we had our eyes on 83 earlier. Ethereum, 2,386, got over 2,400 earlier. XRP, $1.42.9 got at 145.6 earlier. And Solana, man, did real crazy. Solana sitting at 88.75. It got almost to $90. Couple of pennies shy of $90. So glad you could join me. I can see something. All the spaces today were way, way, way down, and I can see even my live stream is down significantly. But we push forward nonetheless. Worst case, people can catch it on the fly. Hopefully, as time goes on, people jump in. I was a little late yesterday. I like to start a little bit before the opening. I have some kind of cut or something on my tongue, so if I sound a little off, that's it. I got to be careful too, not to talk too fast, like my tongue's swollen or something. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, I'll take that. It's another good day. So looking at kind of at some of the news that's affecting it. First, I want to talk about Michael Saylor. Hey, Artie. Artie is one of the people. Looks like a few more people are joining on. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the X algorithm today. Very slow. All the spaces down like a half or a third or a quarter what they normally had. But Artie, good to see you. Glorious day today. Things were really up about a couple hours ago. A little bit of a pullback before the market opened. I think we could regain it. I mean, we looked like we were going to threaten 83, but still over 82 right now on Bitcoin. I like it. But yesterday, Michael Saylor had their announcement or earnings call, showed that they were down at one point, or they took a loss for last quarter, 12.54 billion. But yesterday they were up like 3.7 billion. And so I imagine we're up 5, 6, 7 billion profit now. But yeah, for the quarter, they were down 12.54 billion. But the big news was they announced that they may start selling some Bitcoin from time to time to pay the dividends. The stock dropped 4% in after-hour trading. Now, I think it's a good thing for a few reasons. First off, they're becoming a little predictable. When that happens, people start trading off you. That noticeably they didn't buy only the second time in like 20 to 25 weeks. But I think people are anticipating it, and I think they didn't want to be quite so predictable. They might have had other stuff going on with the earnings call and whatnot. But hey, good morning, Scott from the Heine community. Yeah, Spaces live stream way off this morning, Scott. I don't know what it is. Something definitely up with the X algorithm today, but glad you found me, and great show today. He has his morning space at 6:30 to about 6:30 to about 8 a.m. every morning. Great space. Get in there if you're up that early. For me, it's 4:30, but I am up that early. So, yeah, get in that, join that community. Check out what they have to offer. Great supportive community with, especially if you're newer, they offer a lot of education and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, we talked about this a little on that show, but I think they're getting a little predictable. And last July, there started to be a huge FUD campaign against MicroStrategy. It was really beat up all the way through the end of the year. So they came out and they raised $3 billion cash to be able to pay dividends on the STRC for 3 years. But it's gained such popularity now, up to $8.5 billion in that preferred. They only have enough to pay it for a year and a half. So I think what they're thinking is when we get some pumps from time to time, we'll they'll get a good trader in there, and they'll take a little off to pay those dividends from time to time, and also make them less predictable. Because if you become too predictable, then everyone else will just counter trade you and make all the money. So I think they wanted to open that. I think it's bullish long term personally, but big news yesterday. Big news. Like I said, I think it's bullish. I am going to be buying some MSTR because I look at it as kind of a leverage play on Bitcoin. I think it can outperform Bitcoin a little bit because of the different ways they're doing it. So, yeah, this article out this morning, Bitcoin eyes 83 as Trump pauses Straits of Hormuz military operation, and Iran signals there might be some cooperation. I'll show you some more news on that, but let's check back on Bitcoin real quick. Oh, and look at this, we mentioned ton yesterday was up about 35, 40%, up another 38. That's Telegram token, and Zcash up massively as well. I think the key to Zcash is it's a compliant privacy token. So the regulated exchanges can list it and trade it to where, because they have to know who they're sending it to, right? So the privacy feature can be turned off and on. That's Zcash, and that's also on like Charles Hodgkin's new, I believe it's Midnight. It's compliant. It's compliant privacy. Hey, Coachmaster coming at me, long time community member, contributor to the show there over on X, coming to me from YouTube, which is good because I only have like 100 followers. So I think when we get people watching me live on YouTube and commenting, probably helps the algorithm. I haven't done much to worry about it, but I have picked up a few new followers over there, so that's great. It is what it is. I'm soon going to be live streaming this on TikTok. I'm only about 50 followers away from being able to live stream. I'll use this same software to go live on a TikTok, which is how you get a lot of customers or a lot of followers. One interesting thing about TikTok is you can't save them. People have to listen live. So, but people do a lot of live Q&As, things like that. I've never done it because I just do like a little 10-minute news report that I shoot right before this show. But anyway, welcome everybody. I see a few more people trickling in, but I think something's wrong with X today that they're not showing people. They're not showing everything. But let's look at Bitcoin. So we came here for, see where we're at. Looks like we dipped back below 82. So looks like the battle here will be at 82. We'll see how it happens over the next few hours. If there's truly a peace deal and they open up the straits, I think we'll see some crazy shot. But closing above these higher level, and I apologize, I've got a cut on my tongue or something, or allergies or something, so my tongue's a little bit swollen. So if I sound a little bit like a hair lip, that's it. Fidelity, $6 trillion asset manager. Fidelity came out a consensus and said that's going on in Miami right now. They now recommend up to 10% in some of their portfolios. So I said this would happen, right? Yesterday we reported Bank of America suggesting 4% allocation. We're going to see this. There's some are going to start out at 1 or 2 or 4, and it's going to take years probably before people even get, but then they're going to get higher and higher. The big hedge fund manager who was on stage at Bitcoin 2026 in Vegas last week with Eric Trump, he said they suggest 15. And I know that's true. So I think we'll see this allocation go up, but they're hardly even pushing it to their clients yet. Morgan Stanley's lady who's over this new division, she said that 116 million or 100, whatever it was, 139 million that came in, that was all self-directed. That was organic. They hadn't even started pushing it yet. So when they make a concerted marketing effort, it's going to start. She just kept saying, we're early. We need education. So very early on all this stuff. Charles Schwab is now going to let all the regular investors, they're starting to push it to them. once again, these guys all have tens of thousands of brokers who are going to start pushing it. Yeah, so now we're seeing reports that both the U.S. and Iran have confirmed the straits will reopen. We'll see, right? I'm a trust but verify guy. We'll see. We'll watch the market. We'll see what happens. But certainly, this is what they're saying it could be open. So it was, to me, it was quite abrupt. We had one day of this new plan to kind of hug along here. This is Iran over here. This is UAE. This is Oman. They were going to kind of hug this side, is what they were doing. A couple battleships, a couple of ships made it through, and then abruptly we held, hey, we've got a potential deal. So they must have been pretty confident, and that's the way it's looking. That's the way the market's reacting. We will see. These things can change, but man, if that straight opens, yeah, expect a big move upward. This is interesting. $1.5 trillion Morgan Stanley just announced it will launch Bitcoin buying on E-Trade, which has about 10 million customers. And they also said they're going to compete on price. They'll be much lower than Coinbase and things like that. Not lower, I don't believe, than CoinZoom. But CoinZoom, we're focused more on the card usage, so we charge way less. It can be as low as 0.33%. But anyway, they are looking to compete big time. So, man, we had major news from all three of the major brokers. So I believe Wall Street is coming. And, man, we may have seen the bottom on Bitcoin. I don't know, but we're breaking up. A lot of the bears are now. That bearish trend is becoming broken. And with that close yesterday, a lot of the bears that were calling for 48,000, I even heard $24,000 Bitcoin at one point, confidently. And to be honest with you, right, the week or two before these wars, we were struggling. We were like dipping down. I think we got close to 63 times, and there was no catalyst. And then the war started, and I think like a beach ball that's being held underwater. Bitcoin just kind of rebounded. Brent crude fell over 11% to $98. Let me see if I can see over here the regular. I don't know which oil. Oh, crude oil. Yeah, 96. There's two kinds. That could be the WTI, the Western crude, but yeah, down 6%. See what the Nasdaq's doing. Looks like it's going up a little. I think it could bring crypto back with it if it does. So far we're pricing in a potential peace deal. I like it. Yeah, 0.95%. Check back with Bitcoin because it's 80. Let's see. Let this refresh here. 81,744. So you can see if we look at the hourly, well, it even shows there on the daily. You can see we peaked out and now we're kind of going down a little, but still, I'll take it. I'll take that. I definitely am bullish about where we've been. This is interesting. OKX card, big exchange, has a debit card. I'm a huge advocate of debit and credit cards. In their first month, the product's been out for a month. Most people, the biggest spend was groceries. So this is what I'm saying. Hey, Heinecoin, GM, man. Welcome. Glad everyone can help because today the algorithm's off. I have about a third of the normal users, but that's okay because people can catch it on the recording. But I noticed Digi's show was way off. Your guys' show is a little off. So I don't know what Nikita Bear's doing, man, but none of it seems good. But anyway, back to my soapbox of everyone should be using a crypto debit or credit card. By the way, I think CoinZoom's up today. I think the Zoom token's up like 18%. Let me double check that. 19.61% jump today. It's coming close to 2 cents. But anyway, it varies, and it's a slow burn. It's not a it's not a short, but yeah, a little bit of a jump, close to 2 cents, 1.97 cents. So up actually 21.45% on the Zoom token, which you can download the app on the app or Play Store, and the CoinZoom app. It's a green Z, or you can buy. It's also traded on, also traded over there on MEXC. So maybe sometimes when you get a little pump like this, it'll get a little attention. I don't worry. I'm buying and earning anyway up to 5% when I spend. But anyway, back to my point. You're buying groceries anyway. Most people pay for their groceries with a credit or debit card. Why not be earning some free crypto? Okay, I don't care whose card you have. Obviously, I'm a huge advocate for CoinZoom. I've been using it for 4+ years. I'm an owner in the company, and I own a ton of the tokens, which I've been buying on open market, and I've been earning them through my spending for the last 4 to 5 years. So everyone should do it. And this is just a great example of people buying the number one spend in Europe, groceries. You're buying groceries anyway, unless you're like me, fasting today. I'm doing a dry fast, 24-hour dry fast every Tuesday to Wednesday now. This is my 6th week. Actually, I skipped it last week because I was in Vegas. And I'm doing more and more intermittent fasting, and I may continue it, but I do a dry. Normally I just do a water fast, but I've been doing a dry fast once a week. This is my 5th week doing that. So, but anyway, doing more and more into the intermittent fasting thing. 3 days has been the longest, but I try and do sometimes 1 or 2 meals a day, and I'm doing a dry fast once a week. And I may do another water fast. 3 days is the longest I've done. But anyway, yeah, but unless you're fasting, you're buying food, right? You're buying gas, you're paying a phone bill. So, man, get one of these debit cards. Working on an affiliate program so you can share it with your friends and hopefully earn when they spend. Just at the legal point of that. Now I've got another call with the founders here this afternoon, but that's what I've been putting a lot of focus on. Trying to get it to pay. I'd love it to be able to pay down a few generations, but we run into the a bunch of different laws here in the United States. But anyway, get a damn credit card, put all your money on there. Why spend a card that's giving you nothing? Why spend a card that's giving you miles? And then when you go to order a ticket, oh, there isn't any, but if you pay us double or triple, suddenly a seat appears. And they're always they're like doing like the money. They just continue to print those. Yeah, so the reports are coming out that this is just a 1-page memo to end the war. I hope that happens. I think we'll go crazy, parabolic. So we may have seen the bottom, maybe not. It doesn't matter. I told everyone I bought the whole time. I'm buying every time, and I don't care. Maybe it was just $100 here, $100 there, a few $1,000s here, a few $1,000s there. I'm also, now that I own so many Zoom token, when I earn that 5%, I immediately turn those over into Bitcoin. So I'm continuing to buy no matter what. So if it goes down to 50, great, I'll buy more. If it keeps going up, great. But I can say I bought the dip the whole time. Dollar cost average. Non-farm payrolls, new jobs came in at 109,000. Now, I've seen 2 reports. One is that expectations were 120 and we were below. Another one was 99. I didn't actually look at the data. So either way, month over month, last month was 61,000. So we definitely created more jobs, non-farm payroll. So, I wouldn't say the economy's booming, but not completely tanking. But either way, buy more Bitcoin, right? No matter what. Short term, long term, we know they're going to keep printing money. That's maybe bullish for risk assets short term, but it's sure as heck not good for anything long term, right? Unless you own a house or gold or Bitcoin, then of course, when you own assets, inflation kind of helps you out a little bit. But Apple just surpassed silver to become the 4th largest asset by market cap. But I do believe Bitcoin will flip gold. A lot of people on TikTok believe that in $1,000 XRP, which would be twice the market cap of gold, about $75 trillion. Gold right now is at about 30 trillion. I think the whole market cap of crypto today, believe from Scott's show, from the Heine Community Show, I believe that he said, if I'm not mistaken, it was $2.72 trillion was the overall market cap, if I remember correctly, and it could have changed a little. It's not something I usually watch, but they do report that every day, and it is interesting. I remember when the whole market cap back in 2018 dropped to 100 billion. 100 billion. So it was down 1/27th of what it is right now. Those were dark times, but good times if you had the stomach to buy. Yeah, 344 million shorts wiped out, man. So stay away from leverage unless you know what you're doing. And, you just generally stay away from leverage, because my guess is you don't know what you're doing and you're going to lose your money. If you do know what you're doing, you're using, close stops and things like that. But a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Thus 344 million liquidated. I'm comfy in spot personally. Kathy Woods, ARK Investment, predicts crypto to achieve $28 trillion market cap by 2030. And if we're today, as reported on the Heine Community Morning Space, 2.72 trillion, basically a 10x. So in line with what my predictions for Bitcoin are. So Bitcoin hitting $1 million. And a lot of people are now calling for, 2.5 million. So 10, I think, 12, 15x in that time frame on Bitcoin is not out of the question. Colombian President Gustavo Petro said the country's Caribbean coast could become a major Bitcoin mining hub using surplus renewable energy. That's the thing about Bitcoin. You can put it anywhere, right? It doesn't require that much data. It requires a lot of electricity, but it can be electricity that nobody wants, right? It's actually a catalyst for renewable energy. Oh, I don't know what that is. Alk ramping. Yeah, Alk got given a Bored Ape, and then some people in the Bored Ape didn't like the guy who gave it to him and were coming out fun. Poor Alk got that. Well, hats off to him. Someone gave him Ben.eth gave him a $25,000 ape, which I was going to buy a couple when they were down around 4 or 5 ETH a few months ago, and now they're about 10 ETH. But anyway, that wasn't the article I was looking for. But shout out to Alk and his new Bored Ape. This is funny. China has banned women from modeling lingerie via live streams. So now they have these feminine looking men and boys doing it. So I don't think that's the result they're looking for, but hey, they're adapting to their situation. Ton of live streaming and live selling going on in China. It's like $500 million industry. I've been toying with it, but I've been too wrapped up in working with stuff with my CoinZoom, which is my biggest investment. So in our fund. So but yeah, I do want to get in play. I'm wanting to learn more about this live streaming and selling on TikTok and stuff. I do believe it's going to take over, but that's what happened. A lot of it, but yeah. So this disgusting, but funny. Yeah, outlaw chicks in lingerie, and we have these feminine-looking boys. This, I don't know much about nanonuclear, but it's soaring on a strategic MOU, which is a memo of understanding with Supermicro for powering AI data centers. Been saying for years, really got the idea from Hoff, one of our contributors on the show, who's a big-time money manager in the real world. Like 2+ years ago, he said the way to play AI is power, copper wire, power systems, all that stuff. And then he'd been hinting at nuclear. We've been talking about nuclear for about the last year. And I need to look into this. I don't know, but I know we're gonna have to have if we're gonna have AI, we're gonna have to have nuclear and some of these little mini nuclear reactors. So I think that's with this NNE, I'm gonna definitely look into that. I can't recommend them because I don't know anything about them, but I would definitely say study nuclear. I think it's a good way to play AI if you want to diversify your portfolio a little bit. Ripple CEO, XRP CEO Brad Garlinghouse says we will get the Clarity Act. So we will see. One last look at a Bitcoin here. Let's see where we're at. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, even though I see people have a little trouble finding me. Appreciate everyone listening live. And then hopefully people can catch it on the rebound. 81,496. So we continue to drop down. We're down about 1,250 off the high. But that's okay. I'll still take it. We'll see what happens. Let's play it out. Still, we're up. We're still up 0.6 for the day, and we're up like almost 3% yesterday. So a good week so far, man. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to join me over on the GM Bitcoin show. You'll have some more. We'll talk about a lot of the same things. Hey, Artie, down there. Thanks again for joining, and appreciate all the support. And look, I'm bullish as ever, man. I'm bullish than ever. Swollen tongue and all. Must have bit my tongue, I think's what happened. But hopefully you can still understand me. And get out. It's hump day. Get out and enjoy yourself. And let's hope this piece still happens. I think we go parabolic. I really think we could go